If you have returned to India and your US investments are still sitting exactly where you have left them, you may be making a silent yet expensive mistake. Not because keeping money in the US is wrong, it isn't necessarily, but because I will deal with it later is not a strategy, and later has a way of arriving at the worst possible time during broker account phase, tax notice, estate situation, a conversation with your CA where you have realized you have been non-compliant for 2 years without knowing it. This video is mainly for Indian citizens who have lived in the US on visas like H-1B, L1, F1, OPT, or someone who is planning to return back to India, or if you have returned back. If you are a US citizen, green card holder living in India, your situation is different. Your US tax connection may continue even after you move to India. So don't apply this video blindly in your case. That needs a separate planning framework. I am Varad. I help US-based Indians make smart financial decisions before and after returning back to India. One of the most common things I see, people plan the flight, school, house, job change, but leave their US money on autopilot. Let us go through why that matters and what to do instead. When you have lived in the US, your investments are planned as US tax resident. After you return to India and become a non-resident for US tax purposes, some types of US source income can be treated very differently. Many times, passive income like dividends, rents, royalties can fall into FDAP, fixed, determinable, annual or periodic rules. The IRS says FDAP income for non-resident is generally taxed at flat 30% or lower rate if treaty applies. That does not mean every dollar from US investment is automatically taxed at 30%. Some income may be exempt, may qualify for treaty relief, and foreign tax credit in India may reduce double tax impact. But you need to verify this for your specific US accounts. You cannot assume your old US tax resident plan still continues. A taxable brokerage account full of dividend-paying US ETFs may be a very different asset after you become a non-resident. A 401k withdrawal needs separate analysis. US rental income has its own rules. So don't just ask, is my portfolio doing well? Ask how this income will be taxed now that I live in India. Many returnees think, if I don't bring money to India, why should I care? But once you become resident in India, your foreign assets, foreign income becomes part of your Indian tax reporting. This is where Schedule FA becomes important. The Indian income tax return requires resident to disclose foreign assets and income in Schedule FA. This is not just tax payment, it is just about disclosure. Your Indian CA may know how to report salary, mutual funds, capital gains, property tax, but they may not automatically understand 401k, Roth, HSA, 5 to 9 plans, RSUs vesting, ESPP, US brokerage, 1099. Your job is not to become a tax expert. Your job is to give CA a complete roadmap because your CA cannot report if you do not tell them. This is the most important planning point in the entire video. A 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, taxable brokerage accounts, RSUs, HSAs, 5 to 9 plans, US bank account, all may sit in US, but they are not the same planning problems. A taxable brokerage account with high dividend ETF may create regular withholding and Indian reporting work. RSUs may create a single stock concentration risk. A 401k or IRA carries retirement withdrawal rules, US withholding, Indian tax question, long-term estate implication. Roth may be attractive in some cases, but only if the India side tax and reporting treatment is reviewed properly. An HSA may become particularly less useful if your medical expenses are mostly in India. A 5 to 9 plan makes sense only if your kid genuinely has a US education goal. So the first step is not, should I keep my money in US or bring it back? The first step is, which account still has a job in my new India life? That one question changes the entire plan. For many returning Indians, RSUs are a large part of their net worth, and because they came from the employer and they feel familiar. You have worked in Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Nvidia. You understand where I am going. But after you return to India, the risk profile changes. You may no longer work for your employer. Your salary in India Your expenses are in rupees, but large part of your wealth is still tied in US stock. This is not just US exposure, that is concentration risk. The question is not whether the company is good. The question is whether your family's future should depend so heavily on one stock after you have already moved to India. RSUs feel familiar because they came from your salary, but after return, they are still single stock risk. After returning to India, some people may qualify as RNOR, resident but not ordinarily resident, for a limited period depending on their stay history. During this period, certain foreign income may not be taxable in India. The exact duration depends on person's residential history and must be checked by case-to-case basis. The planning message is simple. The first few years after return are not just settlement years, they are planning years. This is where you should review your US brokerage accounts, 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, RSUs, bank accounts before you become fully taxable in India on global income. Many people waste the window because they are busy settling in school admissions, house hunting, job transition, and all of that is real. But financially, this is when you have the most flexibility. Your return date should not be the starting point of your plan. It should be execution date. Here's a reality most people avoid. After you return to India, your real life is mostly in rupees. Home, groceries, fees, healthcare, retirement withdrawals. If 70 to 80% of your expenses are in India, but 70 to 80% of your wealth remains in US, your portfolio does not match your life. This does not mean converting everything to rupees. It means your split should be intentional. For one family, the right balance may be 80% India, 20% global. For another family, 60-40. The number is not the point. Practical way to think about it. Your INR bucket supports your India life. Your USD bucket supports genuine dollar goals like kids' education, a possible return to US, international diversification, global optionality. For most returning families, the India bucket becomes core and the US bucket becomes satellite. Your retirement is paid in rupees, not in screenshots of your dollar portfolio. There is a risk people routinely underestimate. Your US broker may not treat you the same way after you update your address to India. Some platforms may restrict new investments. Some may allow you to hold but not to buy. Some may ask for additional documentation. Some may eventually ask to move or close depending on internal policy. This may not happen to everyone, but if your foreign money depends on one broker, one login, one US phone number, and one institution's policy, you have access risk. If you keep meaningful assets in US, know whether your spouse can access information. Know whether assets can be transferred. Keep beneficiaries updated. Keep records clean. Do not wait for a forced deadline to make a decision that should have been planned calmly and way before. Most Indian citizens assume US estate tax is only for Americans, but for non-US citizen and non-resident, US estate tax can still become relevant if the assets are US citus assets. The IRS says an executor for a non-resident who is not a US citizen must file Form 706NA if the fair market value of US citus assets exceeds $60,000 at death. A returnee may think, these are my US stocks, my spouse will get them. But if something happens suddenly, the family may have to deal with US paperwork, estate tax analysis, brokerage procedure, cross-border legal coordination. This does not mean every person with US account will automatically lose a large amount, but estate planning cannot be ignored. US stocks, ETFs, real estate need review. Retirement account need a separate technical analysis. Beneficiary designation should be updated, and your spouse should know what exists, where is it, and whom to connect. Estate planning is not only tax, it is access. This video is not saying close everything in the US. That would be too simplistic and stupid. There are genuine reasons to keep money there. If your child may study in America, a USD education basket makes sense. If you may return to the US for work, some US liquidity is useful. If you expect future expense in dollars, keeping dollar assets reduces conversion risk. And if you want global diversification, some foreign exposure is a legitimate choice. The mistake is not keeping money in the US. The mistake is keeping money only there because you never made a fresh decision. Keep the money in US for US goals, not for nostalgia. Instead of asking, should I keep everything in US? Ask 4 better questions. 1. Which expenses will be INR? 2. Which goals will genuinely be in USD? 3. Which US accounts create estate tax or access friction? And last, 4th, which accounts are worth keeping despite the friction? That is how a portfolio moves from habit to planning. I have put a simple US money after return to India checklist in the description. Use it before speaking to your CA, tax advisor, or financial planner. List every US account you have. For each account, ask 5 questions. What is the balance? What is the tax treatment after return? Is it reportable in India? Is the beneficiary updated? And does this account still have a job in your life after returning back to India? You don't have to fix everything immediately, but you need visibility, because once you have visibility, the next step becomes clearer. Some assets stay, some get reduced, some get consolidated, and some come to India. And some simply need better documentation. Return to India is not just a change of address, it is change in tax residency, spending currency, reporting responsibility, estate exposure, financial access. The portfolio that worked while you lived in America may not be the right portfolio after your life has moved to India. So don't leave your US money on autopilot. Review it, account it, keep what has a purpose, reduce what creates unnecessary friction, and align the money with the life you are actually building in India. If you want someone to map this with your specific numbers, this is exactly the kind of return planning work we do. You will find the link in the description. That's it for this one. I am Varad, and on Return to India with Varad, I help NRIs handle the money side of moving back to India. Thank you. See you in the next.